Final Fantasy VII is one of those games where it's made a huge impact on a lot of people's lives. There are a lot of games that basically used it as a template to use it as inspiration, character designs, and everything that's been coming out of it. The music, quality, the exploration, the materia and stuff like that. Everything from this game, from top to bottom, has been phenomenal, and I love this game. I played this game many, many times. I grew up playing this game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. I wouldn't say it's my favorite Final Fantasy game, but it is my top Final Fantasy in terms of, I guess you would say, top five. All right, I would say this would be my second favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. Now, when they did the tech demo for the PS3, I lost my balls. It was so insane based off of what I've been seeing. Right, they did a tech demo saying that they're doing a tech demo for the PS3 and how good it looked, and they launched it a long time ago. And then the game actually didn't come to fruition until the PS4, which is the end of the cycle for the PS4, which was way, way later. And based off of Advent Children, I'm like, wow, this game is going to be really, really good, right? People were super, super hyped for it. And of course, when you compare the PS3 tech demo to what we've got in the final, it looks completely different. So, in my opinion, I thought that was going to be a huge deal, because what are they going to do? Are they going to change it up? Is it just going to be a remake? Is it just going to be the exact same game with a retelling, it's just new paintbrush or something like that, with just how modern graphics look like today with the same storytelling? Completely different, actually. When the game came out, a lot of people did not like Final Fantasy VII Remake. It's because of what they did to the stories. I would say the game was pretty damn faithful until probably the motorball scene. So if you guys don't know, the first game is basically revolved around Midgar, which is the first place you actually start off in the original game. Now, if you look at how big of the game it is, Midgar is like 10 to 15% of the game. Now, this game had about like 40 hours worth of gameplay just in Midgar, and they expanded upon it, right? So you have Hamaguchi, you have Kitase, and you have Nomura all coming back and basically working on this remake. And a lot of people did not like it. Is because around, I would say, 2/3 into the game sort of adds in this extra element where you're like, what the hell is going on? Now, throughout the game, they add these things called whispers, which are sort of like these arbiters of fate. And some people would say that these little whispers would be the actual fans that did not like the game and want the game to be on rails and did not want the game to change or deviate from the original source material. But it did. And a lot of people didn't like it. Now, however, I liked it. I thought it was great. I enjoyed it for what it was. And then Rebirth came out, and that's completely different. 120 hours worth of gameplay. There is a lot. But now, according to Hamaguchi and a couple of the directors over there, this is from geeksandgamers.com, so shout out. Final Fantasy VII director tells fans to skip the original and start with the remake. Square tells new generation to forget game that made them famous. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I think this is a bad advice and a bad recommendation from the director. I think in order for you to really, really understand and love the game and love the characters, you have to play the original to understand it, okay? I've played the game many, many times. I remember the graphics were so good compared to what we got from Final Fantasy 3/6 on Super Nintendo. And then playing this on PlayStation was crazy, man. I thought I was losing my marbles on how great this game looked. Imagine back in like 1997, right? You see this game on the PS1, you're like, holy crap, I can't believe this is real life. And then you have this girl that you've been trying to protect from early in the game, and then about like, what, 30%, 35% into the game, she dies. And she does not come back to life. This is one of those moments in time where you're like, what the hell is happening? This is a freaking video game. Why am I crying? What's going on? And this is the first time where I felt that storytelling was such a huge impact on video games. And for this one, like, it didn't have any voiceover or anything like that. Everything was red, but you can watch the cinematics and you can feel something. You're like, what's going on? And this girl that you met at the flower market, and she gives you her flowers and she follows you around. You meet her mom, which is not really her mom. You find out that she's like the last, kind. She's like the last Cetra. You're like, what? And then she dies, and it's awful. And you're telling me that you're asking players to skip the original and just start with remake? No. The thing is that if you skip the original and you just go directly to remake, there's a lot of things that you're not going to get. Can you play the remake without playing the original? Technically, yes, you can. But I, for one, would not do that. If I was going to tell someone, if someone asked me, hey, I'm going to play Final Fantasy VII, should I just play the remake since Rebirth or Revolution or Part 3 is going to be coming out in a couple years? Should I just wait for that and just play the game altogether? I would tell them no. I would play the original and play it through and then play the remake. That's how it should be done. It's because you'll get a feel for how the original characters are or were and what changes and differences that happened. And you will know more of the backstories of some characters because they change up a lot of characters for Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth. And I don't like some of the changes, but I understand why they did it. It's because to fit the whole modern audience. And I hate that, right? So he says, if you have the opportunity, I like you to play the remake first and enjoy it as a fresh experience on its own. He said on an amounts of gaming sacrilege to generations of players. So this is Naoki Hamaguchi, and basically telling players to skip the remake trilogy. That is crazy, man. That's right. Forget the game that changed everything. Just play the modern retelling design for short attention spans and cinematic cutscenes. No, there's so many. Now, I played Remake and I thought that was great, but Rebirth took it to a completely different level. Mandatory minigames, multiple mandatory minigames in order for you to progress the story. Now, they're fun, but like imagine playing them again on hard mode. It's just, there's a lot. It's about like 60 to 70 hours, maybe 80 hours of gameplay without 100%ing the game. And if you want to 100% the game, collect everything, grab all the cards, grab all the summons. It's about 120 hours, and that's a lot. And that's not even the last part of the game. And I'm not even including in the DLC for intermission and intergrade. So justification is for everyone. The remake is designed to be enjoyed by people who have played the original and know it well, and also by complete newcomers who know nothing about it. In other words, you'll get a similar experience whether you played the 1997 classic or not. No, when Aerith dies, okay, this game came out a long time ago, right? So it doesn't really matter. It came out almost 30 years ago, okay? It's not a spoiler. Aerith dies at about 30% into the game. She gets killed off by Sephiroth. That death in the original 1997 classic had much more weight than the remake version of it. The Rebirth version of it, when she dies, you're like, oh, she's dead. And you see her again in the post-credits. She's just standing there, and then the song plays, till the day we will meet again. Like, no. Have her die, have her stay dead. All right, that's it. That's how you know that person's gone. If you keep having like her ghost showing up, the death does not really have any impact. This is stupid, okay? I'm sorry, Hamaguchi, but that's not how it is. All right? That's crazy. That you might sound like a diplomatic answer, but ineffective makes the original version irrelevant. Like a dusty relic you only touch if you're feeling nostalgic. What used to be a definitive entry into the world of Midgar and the Shinra Corporation is now treated like a bonus feature if gamers indeed skip the original Final Fantasy VII. No, that's why you do not skip the original. In my opinion, get the remastered version. And if you want, play it on a fucking like God mode, right? You can turn on God mode by pressing down L3 and R3, right? And you can play it on God mode. But this is crazy. You gotta play the original, man. This is wild. It isn't that simple. Remastered, the remake trilogy isn't a faithful recreation of the original. Exactly. It's a completely different beast. The pacing, the story, structure, tone, and even the message has changed. Square transformed Final Fantasy VII from a tightly written, story-driven adventure into a sprawling cinematic 3-part reinterpretation that plays more like an action game than an RPG. It is an RPG, okay? It is still a JRPG at heart. It is more of an action JRPGs because they made it. However, you can still press square or do the cinematic mode where it slows everything down. But the thing is, people just don't like it. Now, I have a lot of friends and a lot of people that I know, even family members, who are holding out playing Remake, Rebirth, and Integrate is because they want to play the entire game when it comes out, right? So once, well, I'm pretty sure in about a year and a half from now, or maybe at the Game Awards, they're going to show something, maybe a trailer or something like that, right? They're going to show that Final Fantasy VII Revolution or Reunion or whatever it's called, right? It's going to be coming out. And then once that comes out, then they're going to sell a Bundle edition where you're going to have all 3 games in one for like $150, $120, or I don't know how much the fuck they're going to sell it for, right? You're going to have a giant mega dick bundled edition, and the game is going to be like fucking like 250 hours. That's going to be a lot of games. Versus the original one, you can beat the game in about 36 to 45 hours, right? So I would say just play the original. And plus, this one, they changed a lot of stuff, right? They add in Zack, and you can use Zack, and they have like a different timeline and stuff like that. It's like people are saying there's multiverse and shit like that, and freaking the singularity with Sephiroth and stuff like that. Look, it doesn't matter. I'm rambling at this point, but the thing is that you have to play the original, okay? Without the original, you won't really have too many ties with this one, okay? The music is different. Like I said, the story is different. The pacing is completely different. This article is 100% correct. So when Hamaguchi says to play the remake first, he's not telling new players to experience Final Fantasy VII. He's telling them to experience Square's modern reinterpretation of it. That's like telling someone to skip the original Star Wars trilogy and just watch The Acolyte. Yeah. No, it's more like, hey, it's. I do agree. Actually, the Acolyte is dog shit. Right, let's be clear, the original Final Fantasy VII still holds up. Sure, it's blocky, and yes, camera angles, menu systems scream 1990s, but it also delivers something today's cinematic titles rarely do, player imagination. And when I played Final Fantasy VII for the first time, and I saw it in Remake, and I saw it in Rebirth, that's exactly how I saw it. Right, as a kid, I'm like, wow, and then I see it in Remake and Rebirth, I'm like, holy shit, this is exactly what I envisioned as a kid. So the old game lets player fill in the blank, the low poly art, but text boxes created room in your mind to shape the story. The remake, for all its visual beauty, leaves nothing to the imagination. Every emotion rendered, every mystery spoon-fed. Hamaguchi start from the remake line, make it sound harmless, but in longtime fans, for two longtime fans, it's another signal that Square Enix is more interested in marketing a product than preserving fan art. And of course, they're also trying to push this onto Switch too. And we do know that this is going to be a game keycard situation, because this game is like, I believe, in terms of Final Fantasy VII Remake and Integrate, I believe is over 64 gigabytes or something like that, right? So it's going to be a keycard situation, and they're going to add in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and they're probably going to add in the part 3, which is probably going to be called Reunion. But yeah, I don't think this is a good thought. To what Hamaguchi said, I understand where he's coming from. He wants people to experience the new game. He wants people to experience the new stuff that he's working on, that he's been working on for the past 10 years or so now, right? And that's great, but you cannot just like throw shade at the original, right? You have to play the original in order to really, really understand and connect with the characters. And the fact that like it's just mind-boggling that he said that. Like, I like Hamaguchi, I like Kitase, I like Nomura, but come on, man, you can't just, hey, skip the old shit, check out the new shit. Like, I think that's a bad thing, man. I think it's a bad thing. I don't know, man. I'm just rambling now. What do you guys think about this? Have you played the original game? Have you been playing the new one? Are you excited for part 3 to be coming out? Sound off in the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe to this channel, and we will see you guys next time.